Is it so dark in here? Is that better? You can see how junky I have in here. All right, everyone. Hi. This is my second video, and it's in a series of videos related to customer service. Um, with this video, I am going to discuss the interview process. Um, there's a lot to it, so let's just get into it. So, with the interview process, it basically starts off, you fill out your application. Someone calls you and they tell you that we're going to have a phone interview with you. And then with the phone interview, that's basically just to get a general idea of how well you speak, how you sound over the phone, the reply to the questions asked, the verbiage that you use, to hear if listen to any background noise, etc. Because the first thing that they do before they actually set up the interview, is they request that you please use the room that you'll be working in, and that way they can gauge what it sounds like in a background. So of course you're always going to want to, even if you don't have your office set up at that point, just find a quiet place, and ask the family to be quiet, put the dogs out, etc. If you have a crazy dog like me, then that's fun. um so so you have the phone interview part, and then if that goes well, then it moves on to the actual video interview. 99.9% of the work from home interviews take place in Zoom or Teams, sometimes Slack. Slack is not as popular. Zoom and Teams are the most popular. There's also Adobe Connect. With that one, I don't really like Adobe Connect as much, because with Zoom and Teams, you can actually blur your background. I did mention that on the previous video. Um, I'm not sure with Slack, because Slack is one of the older ones. It's been around for a while. It has evolved. It is constantly evolving. I have not had my hand on Slack in almost maybe 6 years, so I'm not exactly sure of the features. But what you guys will find is on this video at the bottom, I'm going to have some links to customer service skills, links to actual jobs. And you will also find, like, there'll be a bunch of links down there. And Zoom and Teams and Slack will be down there. I see that Slack, you get like a free trial. Again, we don't, in the customer service realm, we don't really, at work at home, we don't really use Slack that much. But if we do, then the company will be paying for it, so they'll be providing a login for it. But with Zoom and Teams, if you don't already have it downloaded, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people already have it downloaded, because hey, we live in the work at home day and age now. So you can download Zoom, you can download Teams, play around with it, familiarize yourself with it, because what you're going to want to do is, when it is time to do your actual video interview, you can have that background blurred, and you won't have all this mess in the background like I do. So yeah. So those are the two ways of interviews. Very, very rarely now do they just have the phone interview. So you're going to find that combination of phone interview and actual video interview as a part of the process. And if you are working for a company that's paying you fairly well, they do more than two interviews. Sometimes you can go through two phone interviews and two video interviews. You might be interviewed by the recruitment team, or in some cases, such as in my situation, even though as operations supervisor, I actually do the interviews as well. So you really never know who's going to be interviewing you. May even be your future supervisor. So of course, we'll always put a best foot forward. The next thing I did want to talk about is qualifying skills. If Indeed.com is going to be your bread and butter. Yeah, they have a lot of other career websites out there, but Indeed.com is the best. This, in my opinion, in my son's opinion as well. And this is why. For one, with Indeed.com, once you make create your account and you put your resume out there, you put your resume up there, you can make it private or public. When you see a job that you're interested in, for the majority of them, they have quick apply. So you basically read the requirements, see if that's what you want to go for, and you just click apply. And it's going to save some information. When you do it for the first time, it's going to save that information, like how long have you done customer service, how long have you done X, Y, and Z. So with Indeed is basically finding the job that you like, clicking apply, filling out a few things. You can add, in some cases, you can add a cover letter if they request it. And then you just click that, and then it's going to say complete. You'll get your email notification that it's been completed, and you just wait. So it's like fishing for a job, but it's Indeed makes it so much easier to find a job. In some cases, you will be linked off to the actual job, the actual company's job site, and that you're gonna have to fill all of that out. But if you have your resume, they're pretty good at auto filling it. Um, every now and then you'll have to put the location. That's still not too bad if you think about it. So um, yeah. So with the qualifying skills, when it comes to customer service, you have to one of the most important is being empathetic. Sounding sincere when you're empathetic, being persuasive. Now, if you're in the sales, persuasion is of course going to be very important because you're selling something, and the majority of the time you're also going to be getting bonuses for it. So hey, um, and also being able to control your call, um, and will you be able to answer these phone calls with little assistance? Because you can't get a call and then someone becomes upset and you place them on hold, and then you reach out to your supervisor in hopes that someone else will take the call. Um, so you have to be able to control your calls. And for me, when I am coaching a team, my most important thing, in my opinion, is being able to, I wouldn't say trick people into things, but being able to politely guide them to where they need to be, because sometimes people will be up here and they really need to be down there. Um, so you have to find the right words to say and say it at the right time. And sometimes it's really not what you say, it's how you say it. Um, so that's something that you can always practice outside of work as well. Um, so in some situations, some people have no experience, which is totally fine, because I never understood the thing when they were like, we can't hire you unless you have experience. But you're like, I don't have experience because no one's hired me because of it. So it's kind of that deadly cycle, cat and mouse. So for me, when I coach my agents, because I do have quite a bit of agents that have no experience, I give them, I give them goals to reach. So I'll be like, okay, so you don't know how to be empathetic. Here, let's set this small goal. Let's hit this within 2 weeks. Let's come back, reevaluate it, and see where we've improved and where we can go from there. So I would definitely say, if you don't have any experience, it's really nothing to be afraid of. For instance, I am on Indeed.com, and here's an entry level inbound customer service rep position between $17 and $21.23 an hour. This is a contract though, by the way. Um, and with this, so again, entry level for 17 all the way up to $21.23 an hour. And what they're wanting, what you'll be doing is answering questions about services covered, providing information, providing contract, giving claim statuses, urgent care. So that basically tells me that you just pull up their account and you're like, oh, okay, so it looks like your contract's up on January 26th, or January 30th. um, so just basic account information. It looks like the wrap time is 1 to 2 minutes, so it means your average call is anywhere between 1 to 2 minutes. That's pretty short. That's pretty darn short. There. So, but nonetheless, again, no experience, but you can make up the $21.23 an hour. I researched this job before I shared this with you guys, because I'm for always providing accurate information. I wouldn't want to give you guys anything that I wouldn't want anyone to give me. Um, just a side note, when you're on Indeed.com, you're going to see the reviews of the company. Keep in mind, this is on a scale from 1 to 5. Keep in mind that the majority of the time, people only leave reviews when they're angry. So yeah, and every now and then I'll go read some random reviews, and I can tell that it's people that have never done it before, because they're like, the calls are too fast, and our average handle time is too low. Well, maybe you need to let that job go and go find a different one, because there are tons of jobs out here, tons of jobs to meet everyone's personality or what they're looking for. And with this job that I was just discussing, um, let's see, the requirements: high school diploma or GED, experience using Microsoft Office products and internet. Come on now, Um, and let's see, contact center experience is experience to include call center chat messaging. So if you know how to do chat, um, but again, they stress entry level. So um, you don't have to know everything in the world about answering calls. Um, let's see. Now, something else to mention: even though you think you don't have experience, there are a lot of people out there that's never done customer service, work from home, but you have the experience. So, say for instance, if you've ever worked hospitality, that's customer service. If you've ever worked at Walmart, ringing up customers back in the days when that was a thing, you have customer service. You most likely you have empathy and patience as well. Um, so do not count yourself short. You got it. You just don't know it. Um, Now I did mention technical requirements. Again, this is important because if you don't have the internet speed to run certain tools, then it's going to cause a lot of issues. There are two types of phone. There's hard phone, as you can imagine, that's an actual phone that you can touch. And there's soft phones. That's a digital phone, a software that's on your computer. With either phones, if you don't have the speed to run it, it'll break up, it'll crack, and it'll drop calls. So that would eventually lead to being let go, because that's what we call call avoidance. That's when you're not answering the phone you're supposed to. Now, in some cases, there are a lot of people that aren't doing it on purpose, but could you imagine being on the phone for 30 minutes? You finally get someone and the call drops. So, just something to keep in mind. Always make sure you have that internet speed. And as I stated yesterday, the equipment is the time the equipment is provided, and there are some rare cases where the equipment is not provided. You have to provide your own equipment, and they request that. Again, the companies that typically request that you provide your own equipment aren't really the ones you want to work for anyway. Um, just trust me. Okay, so and yesterday I did discuss the difference between remote, hybrid. No, I didn't. And brick and mortar. So remote is at home. When you're doing your work at home searches, you're going to want to put remote for the location. Be careful because it's going to have two remotes that pulls up. One remote is actually like remote work from home, and the other is remote organ. So don't use that one. Use remote, okay? Um, so just be mindful of that. Don't ask me how I know. Hybrid, when you're doing your um, search on Indeed.com and it says hybrid, what that means is part of the time you'll be in the office, part of the time you'll be home, or in some cases, you'll train in the office, you'll work at home, or um, you'll train and work at home but come to the office sometimes. So if if you are the type of person that likes human interaction, that then you'll like that hybrid. If you're somebody like me, you'll like remote. um, and with the hybrid, brick and mortar, and then you have work at home. So benefits. Some people didn't know that work at home actually has benefits. It does. So with the benefits, something that I love to do is I love to go on Indeed and just cruise through the benefits. Sometimes I'll just pull up a job and just scroll right down to the benefits. So let's see what this company has. This is a disability claims representative, $15 an hour. That's all right. Um, and they offer 401k, 401k matching, dental insurance, employee assistance program, health insurance, life insurance, paid time off, my favorite, and work from home. Guys, work from home is not a benefit. That's an everyday thing now. Don't let them fool you. Shame on you, Advantage 2000 consultants. Um, but yeah, the other things are benefits. That's not. Um, and then you have some companies, they do tuition reimbursement up to like roughly like $5,263 ish. Um, so I actually I'm in school, so I love that one. And the majority of the time it has to be work related. So um, yeah. All right. So oh yeah, and you can go on Glassdoor. I think I put the link. The link should be at the bottom of the video, but you can go on Glassdoor and you'll be able to see, um, get bits of information like the salary, interview questions, insight, career paths and paths. And this doesn't come from like a machine or a program. These are actual people that come in, put this information, and it's compiled on Glassdoor. So here, let's say, for example, customer service representative work from home makes on average $38,948 a year, and this is the truth. Back in the days, it was in the 29,000 range. And when I say back in the days, I mean like 5 years ago, 3 years ago. But now, average is almost $40,000. Um, like I said, even for a supervisor salary, it's pretty cool. So let's look here. Number one, Apple, $43,730 a year. Um, with Apple, you're going to be doing a lot of technical support. Um, and also, when you're looking for jobs, if you're not technically inclined, I would say go more towards the customer service, not so towards the techie side. Um, it'll just frustrate you inevitably. So yeah. And U-Haul pays roughly 40,000. Capital One, Amazon pays roughly 39,000. Kelly Services 37,000. Transcom 35,000. Live Ops 35,000. Sitel 34,000. Concentrix 33,000. And we have Sutherland here, $33,470. So it's some it's some good pay. It's really not that bad, honestly. There are some people out there risking their lives at their job, and they don't even make this much. So just something really to be thankful for if you are able to work from home and snag one of these particular jobs. So, um, yeah, discuss that. So, just want to hit on the Zoom one more time. Zoom and Teams, like I said, it's a link. Please, if you haven't already download it so you can familiarize yourself with it. So you can put you try to put a professional picture on your profile, because when you're when your Teams is loading, your Zoom is loading, whatever, it's gonna have your picture. So if you're in a meeting with someone, and it's gonna have your picture across their screen. So just get you a nice picture and throw that background, blur that background. Don't put anything in the background. Don't like download a picture of you at Disneyland and having it in background while you're sitting in the foreground. You want that background to just be blurred, just straight up blurred. Okay, so um I've hit on everything that I wanted to discuss. If anyone has any questions, of course, let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer it. um and I will be coming up with the third video, and let's see what that's about. Okay, so we did the interview process, and we will be doing the actual interviewing. So this is where we're going to talk about attire, surroundings, reading the interviewers. What else? Things to avoid saying, things to always mention, and leaving a lasting impression. All right. Well, thank you for joining me, and have a nice night or day or whatever it is, wherever you are.